Picture this. You're an environmentalist pouring your heart and soul into saving the planet. You've been fighting for months, maybe even years, trying to raise awareness and get the right people to care. But despite all your efforts, your cause is struggling. You're at your breaking point, with little hope left, until, out of nowhere, a figure comes to your rescue. And not just anyone, Leonardo DiCaprio himself. You probably know him as the Oscar-winning actor, but did you know that DiCaprio is one of the biggest advocates for the environment, putting his time, money, and fame towards saving the planet? Well, in a shocking twist, Leo stepped in when a passionate environmentalist was on the verge of losing everything. The moment he showed up was nothing short of a miracle, and it's a moment you'll never forget. Stick around to find out how this unexpected encounter gave one activist the boost of a lifetime. Meet Emily Carter, a passionate environmentalist who has dedicated her life to fighting climate change. For over a decade, Emily has been at the forefront of several grassroots campaigns aimed at raising awareness about deforestation, plastic pollution, and the effects of climate change on our oceans. With her small but dedicated team, she worked tirelessly to implement innovative solutions to protect endangered ecosystems around the globe. But despite all her efforts, she was struggling. As the years passed, funding for her projects began to dwindle, and her outreach efforts seemed to be falling flat. She couldn't get the media coverage she needed, and the big donors she once relied on were now backing away, choosing to focus on other causes. Emily had come to a point where she honestly believed that all her hard work was going to go to waste. She was ready to give up on some of the projects she had poured her heart into. That was until she received an email that would change everything. It was an invitation to an exclusive environmental summit in California. Emily wasn't sure if it was worth attending, especially given the state of her organization. But when she found out that some of the world's top environmental activists, along with celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, would be attending, she knew she couldn't pass it up. This was her last shot. Little did Emily know, this summit was going to turn her life upside down in the best way possible. IT was the day of the summit, and Emily arrived feeling nervous, unsure of what to expect. The event was packed with experts, journalists, and high-profile figures. But Emily couldn't shake the feeling that, no matter how hard she tried, she was just another face in the crowd. As she walked through the venue, she overheard conversations about big-ticket initiatives, celebrity endorsements, and multi-million-dollar donations. The weight of the competition hung heavily in the air. Emily had been at the summit for hours, trying to make connections with potential backers, when she found herself at a quiet corner of the hall. She was nursing a coffee, staring at her phone, when a tap on her shoulder made her jump. She turned around to see someone smiling at her, someone she never expected to see. Standing there, looking relaxed yet focused, was none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes, the Leonardo DiCaprio, the environmental advocate who had brought global attention to climate change through his foundation and his powerful speeches. "Emily Carter, right?" he asked with a friendly smile, extending his hand. "I've heard a lot about the work you're doing. I just wanted to say, it's incredible." Emily froze, barely able to process what was happening. Yes, that's me. Thank you, Mr. DiCaprio. I mean, Leo." She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, unsure how to respond to such an unexpected moment. "I've been following your projects for a while," DiCaprio continued, clearly engaged in the conversation. "The initiatives you're running are exactly the kind of thing we need more of. I believe in what you're doing, and I think you deserve all the support you can get." Emily was completely speechless. Here was a global superstar, someone who had dedicated his career to pushing for change, acknowledging her work like it was no big deal. But what happened next would leave her in absolute shock. Without skipping a beat, DiCaprio said, "I'd love to help you out. Let's see how we can get your message out to more people. I've got some ideas that could really take this to the next level." That was it. In that one moment, Leonardo DiCaprio, a powerhouse of environmental activism, had committed to helping Emily, giving her exactly what she needed to keep fighting. It wasn't just a pat on the back or a kind word. It was real, tangible support. After their conversation, Emily couldn't believe what had just happened. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the most influential voices in environmental activism, was backing her cause. It was surreal. The days that followed felt like a whirlwind of opportunity. Within hours of meeting DiCaprio, things began moving faster than she could have imagined. First came the meeting with his team. DiCaprio's personal assistant reached out to Emily, arranging a sit-down to discuss how they could align their efforts. Emily was overwhelmed by the sheer amount of resources, expertise, and media connections that Leo could bring to the table. His foundation, which had supported numerous environmental projects around the world, was now officially partnering with hers. But that was just the beginning. Within a week, DiCaprio posted about Emily's work on his social media platforms. All 70 million of his followers got to hear about the critical environmental issues Emily was tackling. The response was immediate. Donations came pouring in, corporate sponsors reached out, and media outlets started requesting interviews. Emily's inbox was flooded with messages of support, and for the first time in a long while, she felt like she wasn't alone in this fight. But the impact went beyond just financial support. DiCaprio used his platform to give Emily the stage she had always dreamed of. At a major climate change conference just a month later, Emily was invited to speak alongside other high-profile activists. Leo introduced her personally, and the crowd gave her a standing ovation after her speech. In that moment, it became clear that she wasn't just an activist anymore. She was a force to be reckoned with, and thanks to DiCaprio, her voice was finally being heard by the people who needed to listen. But the real impact came in the form of the lasting friendship that developed between the two. Leo didn't just show up when the cameras were on. He became a mentor, checking in regularly, offering advice, and continuing to push for the change they both believed in. Emily often reflects on how much of a game changer that moment was. Not just for her career, but for the cause she had dedicated her life to. When asked about their partnership in a later interview, Emily said, "Leonardo didn't just offer his name. He offered his heart. And that's something I'll never forget. He didn't just believe in my mission. He showed up when I needed it most." When we talk about celebrities and activism, it's easy to think of them as just throwing money at a cause or lending their name to something for good press. But what Leonardo DiCaprio did for Emily Carter was so much more than that. It was an act of real kindness, of using his platform and his influence to make a genuine difference. He didn't just step in for the photo op. He stepped in because he believed in the cause and in the person behind it. The world needs more of this kind of compassion, especially when it comes to fighting for our planet. Emily's story isn't just about a celebrity helping someone. It's about two people coming together, using their resources and talents to create something bigger than themselves. It's about fighting for change, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. Thanks to that one unexpected encounter, Emily's mission is now thriving, and more people than ever are learning about the environmental causes that matter. And while DiCaprio's support was a game changer, it's the hope and inspiration he's instilled in Emily and many others that will truly make the lasting difference. What do you think? Have you ever had a moment where someone unexpectedly stepped in to help you when you needed it the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you believe in what Leonardo DiCaprio is doing, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories like this. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest act of kindness can spark the biggest change.